Do you have any advice for identifying points of high leverage in one's career or relationships?
Yes. So I define, and just so we're on the same page here, points of high leverage as small changes that make a big difference. And I think the best way to identify those, what might be points of high leverage, is to actually try things, to experiment. It's really hard to identify points of high leverage by thinking. It's really hard to identify points of leverage by doing pro and con lists. You don't know what's going to have the biggest impacts until you actually try. And so, just to give a recent example from my own life with this, Think Like a Rocket Scientist is my debut non-academic book. And so book marketing for a general audience was completely new to me. And I had some hypotheses about what would be points of high leverage when it came to promoting the book. Although my initial hypotheses basically turned out to be wrong. The things that I thought would have the highest leverage didn't, and the things that I thought wouldn't have high leverage did. And the way that I found that out was by doing experiments. So like one example of something that I didn't think would be high leverage and did was I created, this was back in November, so I was taking pre-orders at the time for the book, and I created these 6 videos. They're now 12. They're 3 minutes each, and they're like based on actionable insights from the book that people can implement right away. And so if you pre-order the book, you'd get these videos. And I was thinking to myself, I don't know that this is going to appeal to people because they're going to buy the book and they're going to read it anyway. And who's going to watch these YouTube clips of me speaking? And I was so wrong. I mean, when I announced that to my email list on the first day, it resulted in hundreds and hundreds of pre-orders. But if I was simply sitting and thinking and, again, doing pro and con lists, I wouldn't have been able to identify that point of high leverage. So my advice would be to generate hypotheses and then to collide those hypotheses with reality. It's hard to know what the consequences are until those consequences actually play themselves out in the real world.